Hi people, you're welcome to ProUp Masterclass. My name is Tola Labi. Today we're going to be critiquing your logos. Now this is going to be our first ProUp Masterclass logo critic session, and I'm really looking forward to it. I've been putting it out there for a while now saying we're going to be having a logo critic session very soon, and I've had some people send in their logos for critic, and we're going to be looking at those logos today. And if you do have logos that you want us to look at in future logo critic sessions, then please send your logos to proupmasterclass@gmail.com. Today we're going to go right into it because we have quite a number of logos to critique today. And I want to thank everyone who has sent in their logos for critique. I think it's very important, and I respect the fact that people can put up their logos and ask for feedback. And I think that's the only way you can get better as a designer, knowing that you do not know everything and you are willing to take critique and feedback from other designers. So that's what we're going to be looking at today. Forgive me if I'm looking off to the side of the screen today, because I'll be looking at most of the logos on my system right here, and I will try to be as honest as possible, because I guess the only way a critique can make perfect sense is without mincing words. But whatever is said here is not said to embarrass anyone or to belittle anyone's work. We all know we're all at different levels of skill and creativity, and I respect that. But whatever I say here would be said to teach us and to help us to improve as logo designers. So let's get right into it. Yeah, so the first logo we're looking at today is from @Adedimeji Michael Charming 37. So that's quite a long handle. Well, that's a handle. Adedimeji Michael Charming 37. Well, I would advise that you get a shorter handle, whether it's an Instagram handle or a Twitter handle, whatever it is. Make something shorter that people can remember. And the reason why I'm emphasizing on putting up your Instagram handle in the first place is so people are going to watch this video, and some people might see your work and want to contact you to commission you for work. It is a good way of marketing your work and marketing yourself. So if you have a handle that it's easy to remember, it's good for you. So, but I would advise you always put up your handle when you're submitting your work. Just put it to the top left-hand corner of the artwork, and you'll be putting your work out there. You never know who's going to watch this video and will be interested in what in your style of work. So we're looking at this logo from Adedimeji, and it's his personal logo for his business, and his business is called Pisces Graphics. Now, well, looking at this logo, I guess my biggest concern about this logo is that it's his business logo, and right off the bat, I can tell you that there are quite a number of issues I personally have with this logo that is not making the logo work as effectively as it should. Now, I like the fact that you've used the two fish as your symbol mark, and that is meant to represent Pisces. We all know Pisces has a symbol of the fish, so that's a good symbol. I think you have a symbol that can work and can be interesting. However, there are a number of things that I think you can work on, or you should work on with this logo. First of all, the first thing that catches my attention are those dots you have by the fish. Those three dots you have at each corner of the symbol. When looking at this, the first thing I realized is that I can see those dots right now, but I wonder if I would still be able to appreciate those dots or those circles if this logo were scaled down to a thumbnail size. Those things will be lost very, very easily. I think when working on a logo, you have to be careful not to put in elements that will be lost when your work is being scaled down. So you need to put in elements that are bold, that are strong. When you put in little things like that, then those things would easily be lost in detail when your work is scaled down. So you want to do without those kind of images or artworks in your logo. The second thing that strikes me about this logo is your word mark and your typeface. Well, you've chosen a very complicated and somewhat clumsy looking typeface. It's hard to make out some of the alphabets there. If I didn't know this was Pisces, I don't know whether it's a custom font or a real font, but I don't think it's the right font for this logo. I think if you're working with a symbol, then that gives you some relief when it comes to your typeface. When you have a symbol, then you do not have to have a complicated typeface. I think they have to complement each other, whereby you have a symbol and your it means your typeface cannot be distracting, cannot be over decorated, because you're already trying to call attention to your symbol. So when you have a symbol and you have a typeface that's also calling attention, then the logo design becomes a little too heavy and too distracting. I don't know what to look at, whether it's the typeface or the symbol. So I think your selection of fonts for your typeface should be simple. It should be way simpler than what you have here. You've also done something that a lot of I see quite a number of designers do, and a lot of designers that I think are beginners at designer do, giving one alphabet a different color from the rest for no particular reason. That is something you have to deal with. I think anyone that sees this, or at least when I look at this, the first thing I want to know is why the E is that color, is that red color or brown color. I think everything you do should be for a reason, and putting just that E out of all the other characters to be a different color. You have the E and the A in the graphics being a different color. Are you trying to pass a message through that? If you aren't, then just make everything a consistent color, so everything looks consistent. It doesn't look distracting. So I would say never use a different color within a word mark if there isn't a reason to do that. So those are things I think you need to work on this logo. If you do that, you might have a much better, a much more striking logo identity for yourself. Because if you're using this identity as your business identity, then you just might be losing business based on this identity. So if you work on that, then you could have something that could represent your business better and get you more clients. So the next logo we're looking at is from the same designer, and I think this one is for a brand called Tasty Trills, and I think this logo actually has a very interesting symbol. I really like the symbol. I like the symbol of the wings with the wine glass, or is it the cocktail glass, whatever that is. But I think the symbol is pretty interesting. However, there's still pretty much the same issues I had with your first logo, which is elements that can be lost in the details that can be lost if your work is scaled down. And when you look at this logo, first thing that I see that you might not need are the bubbles coming out of the wine glass. Those bubbles are not necessary, because if you scale down this logo, you would not get to appreciate these bubbles. These bubbles would definitely be lost in the scaling down on this logo. So you might as well just take it out. One thing you must put in mind is, think of it this way: if you ask somebody to sketch your logo in 20 seconds, what elements are they likely to leave out? When you think of those elements, then don't put those elements there at all in the first place. So you want a logo that people can sketch without leaving out elements at all. Like, imagine someone sketching the Nike logo, the Adidas logo, the Windows logo, the Apple logo. It's very hard for anyone to sketch that in 20 seconds and leave out something. But the more elements you have in your logo, the more likely it is that people are going to miss out some of these elements. So I would advise you get rid of those bubbles. And also, I don't think the straw is necessary. I just think it makes it a little bit complicated. Always remember that you want to put in less elements. You want to convey your message in the fewest words and fewest graphics. So having more graphics is just giving the brain more work to do. And you have to understand how the human brain works. The human brain analyzes things in parts and puts those part information together to make sense. So the more elements you are giving people's brain to work out and put together before it can make sense, the more work you are giving the brain to do, and the less memorable your design is going to be. So you want to take out elements that are not necessary and really focus on what is necessary. And if I were to do this, I would take out the straw, take out the bubbles, and I think you have a stronger image. And I'll also work on that on the font. You have a drop shadow on your word mark, and no, having a drop shadow this day and age on your word mark is a no. It doesn't work. It doesn't work for logo design. It's not necessary, so you might as well just get rid of it. It makes it look tacky and very, very, very newbie designer type looking logo. So take out that drop shadow. That drop shadow is not necessary for your typeface right there. If you look at the version I've done, I've cleaned it up a bit, but I've still maintained your general image. I haven't really toyed with the composition that you came up with. So it's a strong composition. It's just how you put it together. So clean it up, take out elements that you do not need, and work on your selection of your typeface, and you'll be doing more stunning work. Next logo we are looking at, there's no name to this, and I don't think I got the name from the email, but we're just going to critique it anyway. It's for a web company called Web Choice, and it's a pretty safe logo, pretty safe, and safe in a good way because it's clean. I like the fact that he has used the weight of the typeface to distinguish between the two words web and choice. He has used the same font but different weight. One is bold and one is like regular, so it's really clean. I like the way it looks. I like the composition. It looks very modern, very corporate. The only thing is with the symbol. I think the symbol is a little... Is that meant to be a W? Because if that meant to be a W, then it really doesn't look like a W, because you have like two two ticks, the blue and the red tick, and it is not conveying a W well enough if it is meant to be a W. If it isn't, then it's not a very strong icon, and I don't think it's doing that identity a lot of justice. I think it is good the way it is, but the question is, are you confident enough to take out that icon and just leave it as a watermark and present it to the client like that? Are you confident enough in that watermark just being your logo? Because I think it serves as the logo better than you have the watermark, the icon accompanying it. So it's a good logo, but it could be a great logo if you presented it just as a watermark without those two distracting ticks there that might be a W but doesn't look like very much like a W. So I just think what this logo needs is more confidence to present it as a beautiful watermark that it could be. Now this next logo